laws.
But they control Northcom. They control Homeland Security. They control the Southern Poverty Law Center. And they're demonizing anyone that criticizes them. But I don't see it working this time. I mean, why are they so arrogant? I mean, I've never seen, and we've interviewed all these different financial experts, university professors, former federal regulators. They say there's never been fraud at anywhere near this magnitude. They cover it in Fall of the Republic that you appear in. I mean, why do they think they're invincible?
Well, this is the ego. I worked on Wall Street, and it's very typical to find people who have a God complex, because and especially after the attacks of 9/11, there's this notion that they attacked the people on Wall Street, and for them to come back and reestablish their business, they were doing something more than just shuffling lots of paper and stealing money. They were now fighting some epic clash of civilizations. So they got into their head that they're doing something cosmically important. And once you get, you inhale the sniff of this God complex, it's very intoxicating. So the people, this is why they keep referring to themselves as gods, because they really believe that they're doing something extraordinarily important for the benefit of humanity as a whole. This is the part of the propaganda model. You have to really believe you're God to put your head at the pillow at night and ignore the fact that you're impoverishing millions of people, and in countries around the world, you're causing mass starvation and colonization and massive problems. So they have this incredible God complex, and it goes right into the White House. The problem in the White House is, of course, you've got basically the way, like Barack Obama, for example, the way he attacks healthcare is he looks at the healthcare stocks. If they're going up, he says he thinks he's doing a good job. If they're going down, he thinks he's doing a bad job. He's a day trader. Barack Obama is a day trader. He looks at all the America's policies in front of him, and he trades them like a day trader who's just trading stocks all day. He has absolutely no idea. He's a servant of the people. He doesn't have any idea what that means. He's just basically nickel and diming. Max, he's trying to end the day with a few more bucks than he started with.
Max, I want to go to calls, but how do you see this ending? Not how you wish it would end, but trending outwards. We do see a lot of resistance forming. We see the bankers like Marie Antoinette saying, let them eat cake. How do you see this unfolding?
You and I end up doing wildly popular cooking shows. We're going to be on the Food Channel, and it's going to be Alex and Max cooking chili. And it's all going to be over. We're going to be, let's make a chili. It's called the America chili, and we'll be, hey, Alex, remember when America existed back in a few years ago? They'll be like, yeah, it was a great country back then, wasn't it? Yeah, put a little bit more chili powder in the chili. Yeah, by the way, after this show, the Chinese will be coming on, the new owners of America, and they'll be making some nice Chinese food. Stay tuned for the next show. Bye, America, post-America, new China land. Bye.
Well, that really is it, but that's the bigger David Rockefeller plan. There's a method to this madness. They said in the 70s they would bankrupt this and move everything to China. And now China says they're the king daddy, and the police don't care as long as they can taser somebody, and I guess we just fall into a big pile, is what you're saying?
Well, it's clearly on the money front. I mean, China has the ability to dictate policy in America because every time the U.S. Tries to push back, China just says, okay, well, we're just going to stop buying your U.S. Treasury bonds. So they have the U.S. sovereignty. Again, it's all about market trading, and China owns an extraordinary amount of U.S.
And I've never seen, Max, such saber rattling. Their government's openly saying they're going to start dumping the dollar, that we're now an enemy. I've got the articles here today that we're no longer on good stead with the U.S. Why is China saying all this?
Well, because they want to now let the world know that they're in charge and that people should not be doing deals with the U.S. Russia shouldn't be doing deals with the U.S. Iran, of course, they're doing deals with Iran, even though America is saber-rattling with Iran. They want to let the world know that they're open for business. All over Africa, they're buying strategic assets. They're buying oil-related assets. So China wants to let the world know that, listen, don't believe that malarkey coming out of the U.S., that they're still in control. We're in control. We're doing deals. We've got lots of money. We're open for business. They have to get that message out. And that's why they every time they get a chance, whether it's to go up against Google or go up against whomever, they want to let the world know that they're open for business and for the world to focus their attention on what's possible now in China.
And they also on every front say no to the UN. They're saying no to the carbon taxes. They're saying no to all of this and saying, you Americans go ahead and raise carbon taxes, and then your banks are going to invest your money with us. Go ahead, idiots.
Well, China's not spending 50% of any of the, in the U.S., they spend 50% of tax revenue, $1.5 trillion, on defense, to fight wars that are completely obsolete, because now we know that the World War III is going to be fought in the currency pit. It's going to be currency against currency. No one's going to send tanks. China doesn't need to send tanks to California. They're just going to dump U.S. Treasury bonds. They're not going to waste money buying, infrastructure, except military infrastructure, unless it makes good TV shows.
No, they're actually building a real infrastructure. They're actually building a real infrastructure, and instead our infrastructure is body scanners, checkpoints, pot-bellied cops with machine guns.
Well, the U.S. just put his first high-speed train in California. China, I think, already has enough high-speed train track to go from New York to L.A. or something. It's something extraordinary. They're putting in high-speed train tracks. I mean, but they're clearly they're in control, and it's the solutions for the U.S. are not hard to figure out. But the problem is you've got this incredible bottleneck, because you've got the banks and the politicians have fused together to create this enormous hurdle.
Well, the other big problem, Max, we're going to break, come back with some calls, is the Pentagon says, well, we're going to expand worldwide, but even if we implode, we'll make the American people our enemy and continue our domination here. And they like to live like Somalia, where the Pentagon, with bankers above them, just sits on top of a big slag heap with all of us walking around in loincloths. And so the Pentagon's just taking over the roads, the schools, the police, body scanners, license plate readers.